Hi, my name is Mikhayla Hughes Shaw. I am originally from Rock Island, Illinois. I would consider myself to be a creative if I had to give myself a title. I'm a former news anchor. I play the violin. I dabble in burlesque now too. And I'm 29 years old, so almost 30. And my pronouns are she, her.
Hey everyone, I am Latoya Watson, originally from Columbus, Ohio. Moved back to Cincinnati after living in Washington, D.C. for a couple years. Moved back about 6 years ago to Cincinnati and started hosting events called Black Wonderland. And I'm a UC Bearcats. I'm in my 30s somewhere, and I go by she, her. I would say the first example of queerness that I saw was actually in my high school because I went to a performance arts school in Columbus, Ohio called Fort Hayes. Shout out to Fort Hayes. But it was one of those schools that we didn't have sports. We didn't have like cheerleaders, football. I've never been to a high school football game until I was a lot older, like in my 30s actually. And so you would, as you would assume, with a performance arts school, it brings quite a bit of queers. Uh, and we all kind of come out together, which was really awesome to see. So yeah, I've actually been really kind of in a queer lifestyle for as long as I can remember, since about 14, 15.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really struggling to think of my first representation of it. But I don't remember my like earliest exposure to
Mhm.
queerness, but I do remember when Janelle Monáe came out as pansexual.
Yes.
And that was a huge deal for me
Yeah.
because one, I had never heard the term before. And so I was like, oh, what's that? And then I said, oh, that's really interesting. And that was later the title that I used for myself, but that's besides the point. So I think back to just when I was younger and how big of a deal it was for celebrities to come out as anything but straight, right? Whether that was gay, bisexual, um, and so in that way, I did see myself represented because I always thought Janelle Monáe was super cool, and also a woman of color too.
Yeah.
But I think that was good for me to start to understand kind of the complexities that can be in identity.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but yeah, she
Mhm.
was really impactful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, her little bow
The
ties,
bow tie
they really
and
did something.
just something to
I would say celebrities were who were allowed to be queer out loud, or at least that was representation that I knew of at the moment because I grew up in a really religious household. And so the people that I did know that were queer or gay or whatever it may be, it was usually overshadowed, or it was something that wasn't really talked about nearly as much, not in a celebratory way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in my mind, it really was just celebrities that got to be queer out loud. And I always thought of like Ellen DeGeneres too,
Yeah.
but not really the people that were around me, which is really sad when you start to think about it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Community is the backbone of everything I do, and what I believe is the way that we all come together and share our shared stories, our experiences, help each other out with maybe different things that are going on, especially in the workplace. So community for me is a must. It's a life. It is life. Like I don't know who I would be without my community.
Mhm.
So definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that's really important to you in the community that you build yourself too, right?
I feel most edited, edited. I feel most edited. Not so much anymore. I'm a lot older than I look. And so I've been through a lot of life. I've been in tech. I'm in IT for my professional everyday job. So I do a lot of tech and software development, coding, and that is usually typically men. And so when I first started my journey in the technical world in corporate America as well, I hid who I was. straight off the bat, I pretended to have a boyfriend. I made up lies about my weekend every weekend. You know, we all know what code switching is, but I think there's a different level of code switching when you're also hiding your identity and your queerness and all of that. So when I was younger, I hit that completely. And it wasn't until I moved to Washington, D.C., where I saw like gay people being out and loud and being themselves, gay women, gay men in leadership programs, CEOs of nonprofits, also in government, and just being able to see that much of out gay queerness. Oh my gosh, that was life changing. Like that was one of those things that was like, I could be myself. I cut my hair off and I started wearing suits and like button ups. Like wearing button ups to work was so empowering because I wasn't doing any of that before. And so, shoot, like, yeah, DC really shift a lot of that for me. And so now, like, I don't hide who I am. I talk about my partners. I talk about who I am all the time. I'm not hiding. I'm not code switching in that way. Still code switching in a different way, but not, you know, hiding my like queerness, which is really awesome. And really proud to be in the space where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that there's a lot to be said with age and coming into yourself and then really just being way more unapologetic about who you are as a person. And I think about just all of the ways that I have felt pressured by society as a young feminine woman to edit myself and how to show up, whether it was my hair being straightened, right, when I used to get relaxers. And so it's like that image that we're shown with these Eurocentric beauty features and
Yeah.
what's deemed as beautiful versus nappy, right? Like I think about the things that I used to say about my own hair as I was growing up, and so my identity has always really been tied to hair. And I know we always hear about too, like a woman's about to make a change when she cuts her hair. My friends keep saying that about me.
100% true.
It's so true because there are like all of these periods in time. But I have felt pressured to show up in a certain way, specifically when it comes to my appearance. And I did pageants as well, so talk about like another layer of what it means to be beautiful and how a young woman should show up in the world. But it is nice as you get older. I was a later in life gay, and I feel like that's its own thing in itself when it comes to finding identity and all of those things. But I do feel like when my hair is shorter, I'm more sure of myself. That is what I am learning. But it is important for us to fight against showing up as edited versions of ourselves.
Absolutely.
Even though it's still incredibly difficult. And I feel like every day I'm reminding myself, hey, just keep being you. You don't have to fit into this trope of something, or it's okay to be outside of what people expect of you.
Oh my gosh.
There have been a lot of times where I feel like I have struggled with the idea of identity as a whole, as a mixed person too. And there have been a lot of times where I feel like I've been told that I'm too white or I'm too black or my hair is too kinky or it's not straight enough or whatever it may be. And there have been times where in Black spaces, I have felt like I was the white girl, and they would be like, "Why do you know this about country music?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I have a white grandfather. Like, I don't know what to tell you." Or being in a fully white space and like there's slang that we use, like just
Yep.
how you speak when you're comfortable around people and people being like, "What is that?" Like, "Oh, is that a black thing?" So I feel like that's a constant thing of mine. But I work now to not allow that to cause me to feel erased. If anything, I feel like it sets me apart, but it is a constant struggle as a mixed person. And what I always say too is if you see me walking down the street, you are not going to say, "Oh, there goes that white girl."
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's not what would be said if you saw me walking down the street. So I do feel like a lot of the experiences that I have in life are from the lens of being a person of color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Oh my gosh. I think what's interesting about this question of being in spaces that should be for me, but it doesn't feel like it. I've been paying attention to how I feel when it's a black heterosexual place where I may be the only out openly looking gay person there. Um, and also spaces where it is a queer or gay space, but I might be the only openly looking black person there. So it's openly looking, I gotta say that. Black presenting person there. So I might be the only black presenting person in these queer spaces. And so it's been something that I've been kind of just taking mental note of. Um, sometimes in black spaces I feel a little othered when it is like I may really be the only queer person here. And it's very heteronormative in that environment. And then vice versa too, right? With the queer spaces or gay spaces where again. And so nothing's really happened. It's just one of those things taking note of and trying to feel myself out. Like how comfortable do I feel? Is this a safe environment for me? Do I feel like I need to leave? But these are my two identities too. So I am black and I'm gay. So it's like, like where does that blend in sometimes? And I don't know, it's just one of those things that I'm kind of, I don't know, just keeping an eye out. Just feel a little fillers. I have fillers on myself about. If you wanted to create a safe space, although you were not part of those identities, that community. If you wanted to create a safe space, although you were not part of that community, um, I know this sounds maybe cliche, but be inclusive. I mean, I personally, I am such a includer. Like I am a big includer. Like I love to include people. So if I see anyone in a corner by themselves, I will go over and speak to them and just have some kind of friendly, hey, like banter or some sort. Try to create some kind of like just human connection. So I don't know, be inclusive, and be aware. Like be aware of the spaces that you're creating. Like look around. Like who are you seeing? Like are you seeing people that look just like you? Kind of just like be a little bit more intentional and think through kind of the spaces that you're in or creating. Um, I think that can go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking outside of yourself too, because maybe you are fully surrounded by people that look just like you. And so, a way to learn about how to create those safe spaces is to go outside of yourself
Yeah.
and to ask those folks, like,
Yeah.
oh, what is it that makes you feel seen and heard? Um, yeah, and just being really intentional about it.
Always down to intentions. Seriously. Hmm.
Ooh, there's so many stereotypes. So many
Which
stereotypes.
one are you gonna tackle?
I know, it's what I'm thinking, like, hmm,
No.
I mean, okay, I'll just say what I'm thinking, and then if we need to edit it, cut it out, it's fine. Um, I'm always the person in my family that is willing to argue on behalf of the LGBTQ community, specifically with the black males in my family, because unfortunately, within our community, because you have all of these layers, right? Being a person of color, and then on top of that, being queer and identifying within the queer community. One, I think there are stereotypes about how black folks specifically show up and black males being called too feminine or whatever it may be. And my argument always is that people don't choose to be who they are, except I do feel like this is something that comes up continuously in conversations with older heterosexual black males. And I think it's because black folks we already have a lot stacked against us in this country. And so when you are unapologetically yourself too, I think sometimes it's not met with folks that are super welcome to something that they don't quite understand. But yeah, I think that's a stereotype that I'm constantly fighting against, is this idea that you can't be all of these things when really that might be when you're happiest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. How has representation impacted my relationships? Gosh, I think again, when I was younger, yeah, for sure, it impacted family. But I've always been so independent. I've always been really like sure of myself and just kind of like um, oh, what am I trying to say? Like what's the word? Self-preservation? No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Something about I got me. I got me. I got me.
So yeah, it's
I'm gonna be okay. But like so when I was younger for sure I remember, family being like the kind of what you just said about you're already black, you're already a woman, why would you want to add more to it? So they do, thinking like we're stacking, we already have so much stack up against us, why this too? And I remember also thinking that was ridiculous. And I just, to be frank, if my family didn't come around with it, they would be cut off.
yeah.
Honestly. And so, and that kind of goes with anything, especially at this big age of where I'm at. I just, uh, relationships, yeah. I am a very much like, if you don't like it, hit the road.
It's like this is me.
This is me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of beauty in that too, because it's something that I've unfortunately had to learn in being somebody that's come out later in life.
Sure.
And it has come. So one of the initial questions was, at what cost has it come with? And sometimes doing what is best for you and showing up as yourself fully and wholeheartedly without the expectations of maybe how you used to be or how you used to present, that can come at a cost of relationships in your life. But also, what I would argue, kind of like with you, I don't know if I necessarily want those folks
Exactly.
in my life.
Exactly.
But that's why I think community is such a big thing for us,
Yeah.
because you end up with a whole lot of chosen family.
Yes.
If you don't have, biological family, maybe
Mhm.
that agrees with your decisions.
Mhm.
But yeah, it can come at a cost, but I think it's worth it in the end.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
you can be happy and be surrounded by love,
Yeah.
because that's what we all deserve at the end of the day.
Amen. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Where does joy live? Where does joy live within me as a Black queer person? Oh my gosh. I feel like we keep saying community, but my gosh, it is really down. It goes down to that, right? It goes down to seeing other people that are living and like, living, loving, laughing. Oh, now I sound like the L words theme song, but it really goes down to that. See, I'm showing my age. Uh, joy really lives into the community that I'm building around me, the laughing, the dancing, listening to music together, and trying to do TikToks maybe. It comes down to, like, it goes down to the love, seeing Black queer love. Whoo, that's one of my new favorite things right now. I don't know. I'm doing this series of like Black, gay, queer couples, and it's so beautiful to hear these stories of how people meet and just seeing the love between them. And is one of my new favorite things, of just seeing just a lot of love and Black queerness. So yeah, the joy definitely lives in community, love, Blackness, whatever your Black looks like to you. And being authentic. Being authentic. That's another big one.
Yeah.
Huge, big for me. Be authentic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of joy for me is also found in community and all of the folks around me because I am so lucky to have so many beautiful Black, queer, just outspoken and authentic people. But a lot of joy also lives in creativity. And I find that in art. Also, we have so many talented artists and poets and just so many people that have taken their experiences and really just beautified it and shared it with us in some way. But music for sure too. Music specifically, I feel like is where I find a lot of queer joy and like listening to queer artists. And then when we get to play them at a Black Wonderland party, it's just super fun. Like I think about Doechii right now and just what happens when Doechii comes on.
Oh god.
Come on now.
Oh
like
god. Oh yeah. I can't wait.
yeah, and so there's a lot of joy in that, and I keep seeing joy is an act of resistance, and I feel that because the world is actually on fire and it is falling apart, yet we still find joy.
Yep.
So
Yeah. That's the thing we're
we're
gonna do.
still making it happen.
Yo.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that.
Mhm.
Black people will find joy in anything.
And a line dance.
And
We'll find a line dance. Amen.